morning. My name is Rick Urick, and I'm the worship leader today. Please join me in saying our chalice lighting words and singing our song of affirmation. Both of these are printed in the order of service.
We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We like to sleep in the hope, silent our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
As we enter into this time of centering and shared silence in our service, I invite you to get into a comfortable position and to take into your heart these words paraphrased from Paul's letter to the Galatians. Whatever you sow, that is what you will reap. Let us not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we do not lose heart. So then, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all. to the news of the tragic shooting at the Batman movie premiere in Colorado. And I knew that I had to start all over. One of the largest mass shootings in American history is not something that I could or wanted to ignore. I knew that it would be on the minds of every person in this room, and I had to address it in some way. The question was, how? The title of my sermon was, and still is, What You Plant is What You Get. I also wanted to use a quote attributed to Jimi Hendrix. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. The power of love versus the love of power. It seems to me that that is what is at the heart of most of the conflicts in our world today. Back when I was preaching regularly at a congregational church, one of the parishioners came up to me as I was greeting people at the back of the church and said, "It seems to me you always preach on love." Yes, I do. Guilty as charged. Love is what it's all about. For me, love is the cornerstone upon which everything else is built. So what is love anyway? And how do you cultivate it? Planting the seeds of love is really quite simple. You see, love is all the little things you do that improve the quality of life. Love is holding the door for someone who is pushing a baby stroller, or for someone who just happens to be following you. Love is taking the time to listen to someone who needs to be heard. Love is sharing a meal with someone. Love is bearing your fair share of the burden. Love is caring enough to get involved. Cultivating that love, growing it into a way of being that informs everything that we do, that is the hardest part. I don't have all the answers for you today. I do have questions. That's one of the many things that I like about this church. We like questions. So here goes. Have we, as a country, lost our moral compass? No, I think it's even larger than that. Have we, as a human race, lost our moral compass? How else do you explain highly intelligent human beings thinking that it's all right to do things like fly airplanes into buildings, killing thousands of innocent people? Or suicide bombers killing themselves in order to kill others? Or people who plant landmines as booby traps that end up killing and maiming innocent children playing in the fields? How else do you explain a man who plots to kill innocent people in a movie theater, arming himself with guns and ammunition, all purchased legally, and booby-trapping his apartment? with a scheme to create even more death and destruction. How else do you explain regimes killing their own people in an attempt to remain in power? How else do you explain genocide and race riots and rapes and other atrocity committed all over the world? Have we lost our sense of morality? How else do you explain that we spend billions and billions of dollars waging wars, but cut back on programs that help the poor and the needy, claiming we can't afford it? How else do you explain opposition to the Affordable Health Care Bill by people claiming that it will cost too much to ensure that everyone in this beautiful country of ours will have access to adequate health care? We can't afford it, they say. How else do you explain the deadlock in our Congress? Lawmakers so intent on exercising their own power that they have lost sight of what it means to compromise and work together for the greater good. Where is the love? Where is the compassion? Where is the empathy? Where is the caring? Where is the morality? The seeds of love and caring in our beautiful world are being overrun by seeds of greed and self-indulgence. Greed and self-indulgence are growing like invasive weeds, crowding out love. The power of love is seen as weakness. The love of power is seen as strength. When our president apologizes for something that we did that went wrong, it's seen as weakness. The critics say, we are the most powerful country in the world. We shouldn't have to apologize to anyone for anything. Wouldn't it be amazing? Wouldn't it be wonderful if we were seen instead as the most loving country in the world? It's not all right to kill people just because you have the power to do it. It's not all right to spend billions on wars and then claim that you have no money to help the poor. Our political campaigns are being taken over by greed. Billionaires and large corporations are using their money in an attempt to buy elections so that they can manipulate the laws of our land even more to their advantage. Like King Midas in the fairy tale, what they have is never enough. They want everything they touch to turn to gold. It's an addiction. It's called greed. And after they have manipulated the tax laws to their advantage, they claim it's all right to pay little or no taxes on their growing wealth. They have broken no laws. They have done no wrong. Everything they've done is legal. Yes. But is it right? There is a difference. Could it be just maybe that our system has been corrupted by greed? There is a growing belief in our society that money will buy you happiness. It won't. Money is divisive. It destroys. destroys relationships. What we need is to plant the seeds of love and empathy and compassion, concern for our fellow human beings, whoever and wherever they are, concern for our planet, concern for the poor and the weak and the disabled. Yes, love and concern for everyone, even those that we call our enemies. Concern for our future instead of selling it all out for immediate and personal gratification. The big oil and gas companies come along and say to the landowner, let me drill for natural gas on your land and I will give you more money than you could ever make farming. And you won't have to work for it. It will just magically appear. I have to admit, that is very tempting. But what is the cost? Will your clear, pure water become undrinkable? Will your children get sick and die from the pollution that results from the chemicals used in hydrofracking? The oil and gas company doesn't seem to care about any of that. The oil and gas company tempts you with promises of what you think you want. Easy money. But it is the oil and gas company that walks away with millions of dollars in profit and then leaves you to deal with the consequences. Greed, self-indulgence, lack of caring, lack of love, lack of empathy, lack of morality. What you plant is what you get. Plant the seeds of greed and self-indulgence, and we will end up like King Midas. When everything we touch turns to gold, we'll have nothing left to eat or drink, no one to love, and no one to love us. The shooter at the movie theater broke no laws, acquiring his arsenal of weapons and ammunition and explosives. Laws do not prevent tragedy like this. It is not a question of what is legal. It is a question of what is morally right. Where was his moral compass? Did he have mental health issues? Maybe. What he did was he entered into the world of fantasy, into the world of Batman, and took on the persona of Batman's nemesis, the Joker. Somehow he believed it was all right to kill. He had the power to do it. I suspect he loved the feeling of that power. And he exercised that power just like in the fantasy world. But this is the real world. And real people get hurt and die when they are shot. That is reality. So what do we need? More laws? Now that guns and ammunition and explosives are out there, you're never, ever going to be able to eliminate them. You can even get directions on the internet on how to build a bomb. I don't believe legislation is the answer. One person on Meet the Press this morning expressed it very clearly. The problem is with the people. It is not with the equipment they use. If people have a mind to, they will break whatever laws you put in place. The answer is the same as it has always been since the dawn of civilization. The answer is to cultivate a culture of love and caring, of compassion and empathy. The power of love is the answer. The power of love needs to overcome the love of power. And it can only do that if we, each and every one of us, nurture that love, grow that love in our everyday lives. It needs to become a way of life, literally. Love and only love can save us. We face an even larger threat in the world. We now have nuclear weapons capable of destroying all civilization as we know it. Laws against their use will not prevent their use. The love of power that nuclear weapons embody is intoxicating. It's the stuff that madmen and mad women are made of. Only when the power of love overcomes that love of power will the world know peace. Love. It's not some wishy-washy concept that weaklings espouse. Just look at what happened to Jesus of Nazareth, to Mahatma Gandhi of India, to Martin Luther King Jr. of the United States. They were all men who preached love, and they were all killed because of it. It takes courage to stand up for what is right. We need more of that moral integrity if we are to survive. We need love. What you plant is what you get. So plant love, not fear. Plant compassion and empathy, not self-indulgence. Plant sharing, not greed. Plant the power of love. Nurture it, cultivate it, make it grow so that it will someday overcome the love of power. 2,000 years ago, Paul wrote to the Galatians, "Whatever you sow, that is what you will reap. Let us not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we do not lose heart." So then, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all. More recently, the songwriter Jimi Hendrix wrote, "When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace." Am I a dreamer? You bet your life I'm a dreamer. It's through dreams that we bring about change in our world. We come from a long line of dreamers, people who worked and fought to make their dreams come true, their dreams of a better world. It wasn't easy, but they did it. And we can do it too. I have this wall hanging by my back door. I see it every day I go out or come in through the garage. It reads, "Every great oak was once a little nut that held its ground." My challenge to you today is to be that nut. Stand your ground. Plant the seeds of love and empathy and compassion. Nourish them with them and watch them grow. Don't let greed and self-indulgence and love of power invade and overrun this beautiful garden we call the planet Earth. So let it be.
Please join hands as we extinguish the chalice. Words are printed in your order of service. We extinguish this flame,
but not the light of truth, warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Always be so
Join us for worship service every Sunday at 10 a.m. at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Canandaigua, a welcoming congregation. The church is located at 3024 Cooley Road, 4 miles west of Main Street, Canandaigua, just north of the intersection with Routes 5 and 20. Call for information or directions 585-396-1370. Your comments about this program or questions about the church are welcome at 585-396-1370. To view the latest issue of our newsletter, The Chalice, look at our website, www.uucc.us. Producer and editor, Daniel Brigham.